Okay, in line with our discussions that we have started a couple of days back, so we will be taking up an introductory note on anthropological theories, because I have declared that we will be starting the classes with the anthropological theories or thought. Okay, I'll be going like very deep into this, like for example, good afternoon guys. So what is the idea? I was saying that we will raise questions on even what is this thought or theories. We have noted some isms, right? Ism. And we have attempted to know something on these isms. Today I'll be going a bit deeper, as I told you. We'll raise the questions on, you can just start writing also parallelly. I'll not write much on the board, by the way. Maybe it's not communicated because there are classes starting from tomorrow for other optional, so they require this room, so we had to continue today. That's the reason perhaps many people could not understand that. Shalega, no problem. Or anthropological thought. Let us start the question. What is thought, or what are theories? Thought. Can we add another word there? Thought process. Thought process. Because for humans, it is a very common thing, right? In fact, have you ever questioned? Last time I have told you there was an essay 2 years back. Being human and a human being. Have you ever questioned, what do you mean by human being? Who are human beings? What is a human being? Who is a human being? Man being. Any other guesses? Any other ideas? Thank you. Being ante enti asalu eppudaina aaloచింcharu? Being means, sometimes we say, acha, I'll give you a clue. Do we call animals as animal beings? Anytime have you read in any book or something, animal beings and ekkadana chusara? No. Nobody calls animals as animal beings. But why only human beings? Because being means being. Be ante in that. I know that I am existing. The beautiful thing about humans is they know that they are existing. ఇది కూడా రాసుకోండి, ఇవన్నీ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. మీ ఫిలాసఫికల్ లెవెల్ కూడా వెళ్ళాలి. అండ్ బికాజ్ యూఆర్ ఆల్ యూపీఎస్సీ ఆస్పిరెంట్స్, the maximum marks can be gotten in essay also. Many of you may not know, essay you can get even 80%. Personality test you can get 80%. But unfortunately nobody bothers much about that. And many times it is a fear complex. But if you really are a thinker on everything, essay is like a free flow thing. So you should think many times, who are we? Human beings means what? Because human beings are such kind of organisms who know that they exist, where they came from, where they are going, right? Where they came from, where they are going, that they have some goals in life, that they have some family, that they have some life to be led, that they have to enjoy, that their life is a mixed bag of life and joy and sorrow, so many colors of life. If we start seeing them, then we are real human beings. Human beings do not just exist, in fact human beings live. Whereas in case of animals, what we can think, we are thinking, animals might be knowing actually. We are thinking, animals just exist. I mean, by general observation, do you know any animal expressing that I want to become an IAS officer? Even if you train the best way, it will not become. Some dogs you can train, like cadaver dogs. Yesterday, they were doing their rescue operation in the SLBC. From Kerala, they were brought sniffer dogs, cadaver dogs. So these are trained, but at the most they can reach some level. But they do not know that they live. They just exist. They get born, they grow, they die. They reproduce. In the middle, they reproduce and they die. Do we also live like that? Or is there any difference between humans and animals? Yes, we have. So when we start, when we start doing these kinds of thinking, thought process, even when you sit for quietly some time, naturally this fellow takes over. I have come from so long, I have got so many targets, I have got so many burdens and responsibilities at home, my parents have sent me here, if I don't get selected, what will happen? If I get selected, I will sit in which district I will be posted. Gap is if you just sit quietly for some time, your thoughts will take over. Probably animals also think, but we don't know their exact thought process. But we know our thought process because we can express. We can express through certain language, certain speech. We have cognitive abilities, thinking apparatus, communication, emotions, feelings. When all this get combined together in a scientific manner, that will become a theory. Are you able to understand? Koncham koddi clumsy anpichina, slowly the depth will come. What is a theory? When I say, yesterday I have given you an idea, when I say some sentence, communism is a kind of a philosophy which believes in human effort, ippudu maaripothadu malli same definition raadu. Okay, I never give that like staccato, mugged up answer. Every time a new definition I can give. I can give 100 definitions on the spot. Communism is that kind of a philosophy or principle based on human effort towards developing individual as well as national abilities. So if I say that while giving a speech, for example, who are these thinkers? Who are these thinkers? Most of them are researchers, scholars, teachers. While they give a speech, they get some thought. Then they discuss, when they give a statement, their students come and ask, sir, you have said something on that day. Yeah, I am also thinking on that. Let me work on it. This fellow develops an entire ball game, entire theory on that. Are you understanding? So all these thought processes just don't come just like that. Like for example, sometimes without even any effort also people start thinking. Newton, best example quoted in sciences, Newton. He was just sitting in a garden, doing something, he was having some other idea, suddenly an apple fell. Apple మరి ఎట్లా గార్డెన్ అంటే యాపిల్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? ఇది నిజంగా స్టోరీ అనిపిస్తుంది నాకు. Apple ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? It will be actually in snowy areas. And apple's height is, tree height is only this much. మరి ఇంత పెద్దగా ఏమి ఉండదు కోకోనట్ లాగా. Fine, for us it's okay. I think like this. It's okay. The apple was falling down. This fellow suddenly started thinking, oh, thought process, theory. So now technically speaking, theory or thought is a flow of thought gani theory edanan, a flow of ideas or concepts. Now you can start writing, coming from a thinker. ఏది ఇచ్చినా నేను ఒకటేసారి ఇస్తాను. మళ్ళీ మీరు నన్ను అడిగితే, even if you all, everybody comes and supports me also, I can't repeat. Only once it will come. Second time if you ask me, I'll give another sentence. But what is the main point? Is a defect in me? Is it a defect in my genes? ఏమనుకోవాలి మీరు? ఎట్లా అనుకోవాలి దాన్ని? How do you take it? అంత మల్టీ టాలెంటెడ్ తర్వాత తెలుస్తుంది మీకు. multiple ideas, or the idea is same but words are changing. So your idea, same idea, we will be talking about theories. You will write some answer, she'll write some answer, he'll write some answer, she'll write some answer. Are your all answers same in spite of me giving notes and dictations and handouts? Same aithe rayar kada meer. So the moment, like, that means the idea is same but the sentences keep changing. So coming from a scholar or a thinker, usually these are also called as philosopher or scientist, and in our case in anthropology they are anthropologists. Any person for that matter, he may not be an anthropologist to begin with. In fact, most of the anthropologists were not even anthropologists before, earlier in their lives. They became anthropologists later. Some people were scientists, doctors, some people were mathematicians, some were lawyers. Later they have adopted anthropology. So these are scholars, scientists, thinkers, philosophers who were giving some thought process, a flow of ideas which took shape or which take shape as a into or as a theory or a thought. I want everybody in this class, or people who have even not come to this class, na swardham as a teacher, all the students of mine have to be getting this ability to write. Like at will you can write, you should be able to write. Aa level ki reach aithe mimmalni IAS avakunda aapadam evaru taram kaadu. At will you should be able to write, at will you should be able to express. So what is a fundamental message in my observation right now? That you first become good in your communication. Subject automatically will fit in it. I am actually not an expert in the subject, let me declare. మీకేమో షాక్ తగులుతుంది, ఈయన ఎక్స్పర్ట్ లేదంటాడు, ఏదో ఆపరేషన్ టేబుల్ మీద నేను డాక్టర్ కాదన్నట్టు చెప్తున్నాడు, ఏందా పరిస్థితి అనుకుంటారా? ఐఎమ్ ఎ గుడ్ కమ్యూనికేటర్. సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఆర్ దేర్, ప్రొఫెసర్స్ కూడా ఉంటారు, కానీ మెనీ పీపుల్ మే నాట్ నో హౌ టు కమ్యూనికేట్. UPSC requires this quality. They don't want specialists. See, they can actually declare in the notification, no, they can ask for PhDs only, gold medalists only, masters only. Why they are not asking? Because civil servants are going to be generalists. It's a generalist service, not a specialist service like a surgeon or a doctor. UPSC also receives, it releases some notifications. Majja notifications vastuntayi kada. Scientists and doctors, and UPSC conducts those also. Those are all specialists. Civil services are generalist services. Here you should have this basic general knowledge, but you should be good in communication. Okay, thanks for listening. Anyhow, so being a human or human being is that kind of a quality which separates us from animal world. And in these human beings there are certain people like philosophers, thinkers, scholars, scientists. On a regular basis they will be thinking, and over a period of time they will develop some theories or thoughts. In anthropology also we have got some thoughts, several collection of ideas that was clubbed together and called as thoughts. Okay, did you copy this? Shall I rub it off? Good. Jaldi karo. Yeah. Yesterday I was talking about one diagram like this. You remember? What was this diagram about? Knowledge. What, why, when, all this. What, why, where, who, when. ఏదైనా రాసుకోవచ్చు మనం. How, who, ఇంకోటి ఏం మిగిలింది when. So even for anthropology you can apply all this. They will go to that later. But knowledge is embedded like this. You will be surprised. Acha, let me ask you one question. Anthropology, what kind of a science is anthropology? Is it a science first of all? Yes, anthropology is a science. But which science? Social science, because it studies society, social cultural institutions, culture, etc. in a scientific manner. So, where does the word science come from? Again, we will arrive everything through questioning. The root word for science, we all know, so social, idanna telusu, already manaku telusu. But we think that we know science. Can anybody give the origin of this word, science? ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది word? This word comes from a Greek word called scientia. Scientia means in English to know or knowledge. Either you call, what is the meaning of scientia? Scientia means either you call it as to know or knowledge. మరి బోర్డు మీద ఏముంది? In the diagram, what is embedded? Knowledge. So can we write another word here? Absolutely. So science and knowledge have both the same parameters. So you can also try to understand the four walls of science through questioning only. Science and enti? To question, to know. How do you know? Unless you question, you began with a question from your home. I want to become a civil servant. How? Somebody said go to Hyderabad coaching. How one raised the question. Then what is the process? Take coaching. When should I start? After degree, while degree. Where? Hyderabad. Who are the experts? Why? Because coaching helps you better. Vachesinda? You have a question, then you have an answer. Then science has this habit of raising fundamental questions which became groundbreaking in many parts of the world. Even today, that tradition continues in science. A scientist is always, a true scientist doesn't even know whether it is upma dosha, plain dosha, vada, koi bhi rak do, he'll be just eating. Edana parled, కూరలు ఉప్పు ఎక్కువైనా కారమైనా. Best person for a wife, if a bad cook, is a scientist. I'm just joking. But usually they don't bother whether they are eating properly, bathing or going to that. Their mind is always focused on that. You must be seeing Nobel Prize winners, right? Nobel Prize winners ఎప్పుడు ఇస్తారయ్యా Nobel? At least a minimum 20 years of research. You see their records, go back. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, తక్కువ ఉండదు వాళ్ళది. అంటే 20 years research on only one question they will be spending. So that is the beauty of science. Now why I am talking about science? Because I will come to that. I will come step by step, gradually. I also mentioned this Greek word. It's a Greek word. Okay. And there is a very good organic connection between Greek or Greece and anthropology. Greece was a fountainhead of knowledge. Any idea Greece, why Greece is important? Which Greece we are talking about? Of course, Greece in Europe. We are talking about today's Greece or ancient Greece. Ancient Greece is that context or that place where people like Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, Herodotus, Empedocles, like we have got dozens of scholars. Between 5th century and 3rd century BC, Greece was like completely dominating the scientific era. Science another appudu inka, of course, scientia is already doing the rounds. Science may not have developed like this today, but what is the basic idea of science? I told you. What is the basic fundamental thing, philosophy in science? టు నో కన్నా ముందు ఏంటది? ఆ బార్డర్స్ చూడండి, బార్డర్స్ చూసి చెప్పండి అవన్నీ ఏంటి? క్వశ్చనింగ్. సైన్స్ ఇస్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ క్వశ్చనింగ్. సైన్స్, లాజిక్, రేషనాలిటీ, ఆల్ దీస్ ఆర్ వాట్? క్వశ్చనింగ్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ఫిలాసఫీ? థింకింగ్ అంటే ఒకసారి ఒక వర్డ్, ఐ మీన్ ఇఫ్ యూ థింక్ ఆన్ సంథింగ్, ఇట్ గోస్ అండ్ జస్ట్ రీచ్ ద వాల్. Will you be satisfied? If an ordinary person thinks just that fellow is satisfied, he goes on moving. But a thinker, philosopher will go on raising supplementary questions. A bundle of thoughts will become a philosophy. And they will give some idea called stoicism, hedontism, utilitarianism. Ivanni meeku ethics lo kuda vastadi konta. You should have some basic idea. Okay? On all these isms that became the bundle of ideas coming from these philosophers, starting from ancient Greece, from the scholars like Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, etc. So these people were the fountainheads or pioneers of knowledge. Ancient Greek, which produced philosophers like starting from Socrates. He kick-started an extraordinary movement in philosophy. He used to just gather in the evening and he used to talk to people who are slightly educated, and he developed an entire body of knowledge, and many people started following him and they became his disciples, like later Aristotle, Plato, and for us another important person is Herodotus. All these people started pouring the ideas, like just free flow of ideas, because Greece at that point of time was relaxed and all, the society was peaceful, and the conditions were favorable for these thought processes. And these people are also relevant for anthropology, especially two people in this, Aristotle and Herodotus. Once you copy this, I'll rub this off. Done? Okay. So Aristotle and Herodotus. Herodotus slightly lived in about 440 BC or so. So we'll be talking about Herodotus first. Herodotus was a scholar, philosopher, and this man traveled those days in ancient Greece of his times, or to almost for nearly 3,000 kilometers around his kingdom, and studied nearly 30 societies. Whatever society it may be, nearly 30 societies. 30. Easy to remember. 3,000 kilometers, 30 societies. Can you imagine? People in those times had so much time. Of course, you might be saying, maybe this fellow was a rich man. So what? Instead of enjoying his richness, he was doing research on the society. He was doing rounds on the societies and trying to know how people lived. Aristotle was also very important for us. Aristotle slightly lived a bit towards us. And 500 BC is older than 400 BC. 300 BC is more younger to 400 BC. So Aristotle lived around 300 BC. He is also important because Aristotle coined the term anthropologist. Coined the term anthropologist. First he spoke about anthropologist, not anthropology. And anthropologist, what is the meaning of anthropologist? He said he is the gossip. He is a gossip who talks about himself. You will be surprised, what is this language here? I don't understand. Gossip who talks about himself. Or in some books it is written as, who is an anthropologist, a man who gossips about himself. ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏది రాసినా పర్లేదు. Who is an anthropologist? Either you can write a gossip who talks about himself, or a man who gossips about himself. Here, whatever may be the idea, you have to remember this is a language of 300, 400 BC. The language of that time and your language of this time is different. So we are trying to understand what is the meaning of it. Even if you take a wild guess also, we can understand. What is the central idea here? Central idea. Who talks about himself? Himself means who is himself here? Human being. Human. Anthropos means anthropos. I did not split this actually. Anthropologist led to the word anthropology. You all know this. చాలా చోట్ల వినే ఉంటారు, వీడియోలో చూసే ఉంటారు. Many times you must have got it. So anthropos means man or human, because it's still a man's world. You might challenge me again, but even today it's a man's world only. But that's the reason many times we use the word man only. So anthropology, anthropos man, and logos is study or science. Actually it's a logic. Logos means logic or study or science. So anthropologist is that person who is studying about himself or human. So that's the reason we call anthropology is the study of man. Man means only one man is there, entire humankind. So anthropology is the study of humankind. Any rakal spin cheyచ్చు చూడండి. You can make dozens of definitions like this. You can write another definition. Anthropology is the study of mankind. ఒకరి చోట రాసుకోండి side లో. Box items or 3-4 definitions at once. Anthropology is the study of mankind. Anthropology is the science of humankind. ఒకసారి స్టడీ అనండి, ఒకసారి సైన్స్ another time. Logic you can say. Anthropology is a logic of humans. Logic అంటే జనరల్గా అర్థం బాగుండదు. సరే, let us call it a science of humans, science of humankind, study of mankind, whatever it is. So Aristotle sometimes, that's the reason, was considered as father of anthropology by some people. Not all. What is the title given to Aristotle? Father of anthropology. Because he has coined the term anthropology. ఇంకేం కావాలి? Shall we give the credit to Herodotus also? Maybe 50-50 the prize goes to Herodotus also, because he is the one who traveled around the world. So when we will be having another occasion. On another occasion Herodotus comes. We'll be talking about Herodotus again in chapter 8. Field work. So this is about these Greek scholars. This is wonderful, excellent. Then what is the idea that we are trying to project? Is this thought? You must be thinking, thought ante ikkada aagipoledu, still lingers on. When everybody is written down, I'll go further. No hurry, no hurry, aram se. First you digest this. Whosoever has written fast, please focus on the subject, revise it now itself, because now is the best moment in life. Okay, done. So there was something very unique I have to share with you. Since I spoke about these philosophers, ancient Greece, even Roman Empire, and all these European kingdoms were acting as fountainheads of knowledges and philosophies, sciences. Like we had all this, right? Herodotus, Empedocles, everybody is given some title. Father of history, father of biology, father of science, father of anthropology. Many fathers we have here. You must be having, where are the mothers? So pakan పెట్టేసాను కాసేపు ఎందుకంటే there was no language like that. Again, you must be having a doubt. What is India doing here? Don't we have India in this discussion? We had a treasure house of knowledge in India as well. India was also fountainhead of knowledge, extraordinary knowledge. But unfortunately, that has not been descended down to the generations because of so many reasons. We don't have time for that right now. We'll talk about that in another occasion. So this fountainhead of knowledge was actually flowing like a stream in Europe. This is science. The science as a stream. Like imagine there is a stream flowing. Like, okay, stream ante okay. This is a stream. And there is another stream that was parallelly doing like it was also flowing in the world right from about 3 lakh years ago. There was our earlier form. Anybody got the idea of syllabus right now? I just want to test your knowledge. It's not to test your actually knowledge at the moment, like memory maybe. Human ancestors, did we just note yesterday while we were talking about the syllabus? Human ancestors. Gurtunda? Which chapter? Part 2, good. Physical or biological anthropology. And chapter 1.6. In that, we have got several human ancestors. One human ancestor was Neanderthal man. Neanderthal man. You will be seeing that in the syllabus, detailed syllabus. I have not written down on the board. Neanderthal man. Since the time of Neanderthal man, religion started. So probably religion started long back. So science might have started just recently, about 500 BC with Socrates. Even before that also science was there. When humans started making stone tools itself, science has actually taken the beginning. So science was there, religion was also there, but both were actually traveling in different directions, and parallelly they were traveling. But in Europe, by about 1000 BC, 1000 AD, sorry, 1000 AD, approximately 1000 AD, science somehow got merged into this. In fact, merge ani kaadu. Science stream of this knowledge as if it has gone down into the earth. Everywhere in Europe, what was dominating? Completely, this stream was dominating. The stream was religion, and it has started flowing completely far and wide, completely inundating the lives of people. That means people were completely buried in the knowledge of religion. Unfortunately, fortunately, whatever we can use, because some people are highly religious people, but here we are in, every time remember, we are in the classroom of anthropology, which is a science, social science. And religion, any religion for that matter, requires complete submission, complete dedication, no dash. చెప్పండి ఒకసారి. కంప్లీట్ సబ్మిట్ చేసిన, కంప్లీట్ ఫెయిత్, కంప్లీట్ సబ్మిషన్ అన్నప్పుడు ఏమి ఉండదు అక్కడ. నో, ఇంకొంచెం. వెన్ యూ కంప్లీట్లీ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ అదర్ పర్సన్ ఫెయిత్స్, వాట్ డూ యూ డోంట్, వాట్ యూ డోంట్. ఇప్పుడు మనం అనుకుంటాం, మనం అప్పుడప్పుడు బ్లైండ్ ఫోల్డర్ ఏదో ఆడుతుంటారు గేమ్స్, కళ్ళ గంతలు కట్టి వెనకాల బండి మీద కూర్చోబెట్టుకొని యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్, యు ఆస్క్ యువర్ ఫ్రెండ్, డూ యూ హ్యావ్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఫెయిత్ ఆన్ మీ? ఎస్. దెన్ అప్పుడు మరి మధ్యలో అక్కడ ఫాస్ట్ ఎంత మళ్ళీ స్లో చేయి, మళ్ళీ స్పీడ్ బ్రేకర్ వస్తుంది అన్నాం అనుకో, వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ ఫెలో సేస్? నో, నోరు మూసుకొని కూర్చో, నో క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆస్క్డ్, నో సజెషన్స్ గివెన్. When faith is there 100%, what is expected? No questions. No questions. Now again go back to your thinking. Whenever you ask your parents, ఇది ఎందుకు అమ్మ శుక్రవారం ఎందుకు గోల్డ్ కట్ చేసుకోకూడదు అనగా ఏ తెలియదు షడప్ అంటది మీ అమ్మ. ఏం ఎట్లాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇస్తున్నావు? Because your mother also doesn't know. Her grandmother also doesn't know. Grandfather may not know. Because they never question. Simply they were following. So many superstitions are there, right? Whenever we start for some job, some work, some cat fellow will cross our path. Then our parents say, no, stop. కూర్చో కాసేపు 1 minute ఆగి. రోడ్ల మీద కూడా ఒక్కోసారి కొంతమంది బండి ఆపేస్తారు. Why? Because it is his mother said, his grandmother said, grandfather said, father said. Just follow. No questioning. Just blind faith and following. So that is the main motto of religion. In the sense, of course, people who question, they have developed certain different forms of religion. But whenever you say something new, the world will not accept so easily. Scientists, many a times scientists were beaten, they were thrown, stoned, they were put in jails and even killed. In fact, all these great philosophers were great scientists also, though they have not invented anything. Sometimes you can even call these philosophers as scientists. You know how Socrates was killed? Socrates story తెలుసా? He was given a poison, a cup of poison with milk or something. Then he was killed by the authorities because he was encouraging a lot of youngsters to question. When they question, they'll question everyone. Emperor, king, nuvevad rana adhikaram. Who is you to actually collect taxes antadu. When the crops are drying, how can you collect taxes? Okay, question is all. Will that fellow tolerate? No, he'll be put in jail or beaten. So many scientists have been given this treatment. So people started dreading. People stopped questioning. In Europe, unfortunately, this continued for several generations. Europe went into some kind of dark age. It was something called as dark ages between nearly after the end of the science and till about 14th 15th century. Nearly, not exactly I'm saying. So because nothing starts something like from vacuum, some streams might have been developing slowly people started questioning, because they also don't want to follow the blind dogmas of religion. Dogmas are beliefs. What is a belief? What is a dogma or dogmas? Beliefs without questioning, simply followed. Without questioning, if you follow anything, it is called as dogmatic in English. So religion was full of dogmas and unquestioned faiths. And unquestioned faith అంటే 100% ఉండాలి. గాడ్ని గాడ్ అంటే will you question every day? If you question every day, what will be your parents say? అరే నువ్వు నాస్తికుడు ఏమో పేర్లు పెడతారు కదా. Right? So they will start discouraging you, because religion has been giving them relief since generations. Whenever something wrong happens, people, when they have some problem, they go to the God and religion. They take recourse to religion. So naturally, religion has been followed even in Europe without questioning. If we question God and goddesses and all that, then it is not religion. It will become what? It will become what? If a question comes, what it is? ఇందాకే అనుకున్నాం, questions వచ్చినంటే ఏంటది? Science. So again the stream which got completely died down got resurrected again. ఆ స్ట్రీమ్ లోపలికి వెళ్ళిపోయింది, కాస్త మళ్ళీ బయటకు వచ్చింది. Like our old and dried lakes and rivers, they suddenly became alive. So continuously people were questioning. So Europe has come out of dark ages into light. ఇదంతా నేను చెప్పింది కాదు, all modern history you can even read in your even internet also. So these dark ages has catapulted by the time Europe entered into 15th century into something called as Enlightenment era. Enlightenment era, which is full of science and questioning, science. And because it became something like a rejuvenation. Society got rejuvenated, resurrected, reinvigorated. There are several words in the dictionary. Re అంటున్నాం అంటే ఒకప్పుడు ఉండింది ఇది. It was there during the ancient Greece time. It just got revived. So this tradition of questioning and science got revived in 15th century Enlightenment era. So other name was also given to this called as Renaissance. It is actually the name antam Renaissance. మనం ఏదో తెలియక Renaissance అంటాం. Till recently people used to call it as Renaissance, but it is actually pronounced as Renaissance because it's all European stuff. Renaissance means which got revived, reinvigorated, rejuvenated, resurrected. Several words are there. So what got resurrected, what got rejuvenated? కొంత బ్రేక్ కూడా ఇస్తా కాసేపు అయినాక. యాక్చువల్ దానిలోకి వెళ్ళాక ఇదంతా కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు కొంచెం స్ట్రీమ్ స్లోగా వెళ్తుంది. వాట్ గాట్ రిసరెక్టెడ్? the tradition, the culture of questioning, science has got resurrected. And it led to so many inventions and discoveries. Those days, during the philosophers' times, Aristotle, Plato, etc. times, they were only questioning and they did not experiment much. They were just they were successful in kick-starting new ideas in the younger generation. That's it. They were successful in their own sphere. But coming to 15th century onwards, the world needed some solutions. Especially Europe was getting completely packed with huge populations. Europe is a small continent. మన యూరోప్ తిప్పి కొడితే మన ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ తెలంగాణ కలిపితే యూరోప్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ ఈవెన్ పాపులేషన్ వైజ్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ place constraint, Europe population was increasing. And there was also necessity is the mother of invention, they say, right? Because of this, people were trying to look out. Enduku? Because most of the Europe is surrounded by, it is closer to water, and naturally they started looking out. First reason. Second reason, there was regular trading right from ancient times. Ancient India was known for one thing which is more precious than gold. Gold kana khatarnak item okati unde Indialo. Spices. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Spices trade had made so many traders in India, kings in India richer. మన దగ్గర ఇంత గోల్డ్ ఎందుకు ఉందనుకున్నారు? These fellows used to go to Europe and Arabia, sell the spices, in return used to get truckloads or boatloads of gold. So that's the reason many temples even today had got that kind of gold. You can't even imagine. That gold culture in India has come because of this. If we all do this, India is the richest nation. Before British Empire came, British colonized India, in 19th century beginning, India was the richest nation in the world. Later, it was, of course, you all know that. So this gold, since they were paying very high price, they thought at some point of time, why we should not go there and do something? Because even Indian traders were also very smart. ఎంత తెలివైన వాళ్ళు అంటే, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఇన్ సౌత్ ఇండియా, చెట్టీస్ అండ్ ఆల్. వేర్ ద స్పైసెస్ ఆర్ గ్రోన్, టెల్ మీ? ఇన్ కేరళ, కర్ణాటక, తమిళనాడు, ద వెస్టర్న్ ఘాట్స్, somewhat Maharashtra. Most of the business was done by Chettiars and all this. Chettis. These Chettiar people were very smart fellows who were lying. They made a story. అంటే స్పైసెస్ అంటే ఏదో గుహల్లో ఏదో స్పెషల్ అదే భూత వైద్యంలాగా సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ పూజాస్ అవన్నీ చేయాలి, ఎన్నో అద్భుతమైన శక్తులు ఉన్నాయి, రైట్? ఆల్ దీస్ ఫోర్సెస్ ఆర్ యాక్చువల్లీ గార్డింగ్ దెమ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్. సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ స్టూపిడ్ కాక్ అండ్ బుల్ స్టోరీస్ దే హావ్ క్రియేటెడ్. సో యూరోపియన్స్ బిలీవ్డ్, బట్ science kick started in them. अरे ये तो सम तेड़ा है, दाल में कुछ काला है. let us also venture out. So second necessity of, right, mother adantaru, second necessity has arised. So first it was a huge population in Europe, second this, and thirdly there was another factor. The trade route that was happening between India and Africa through Europe was controlled by the Ottoman Empire. Constantinople was their capital, and today's Istanbul, Turkey. That Ottoman Empire, which stationed there, was bordering Europe. So they used to put a checkpost create చేసి వచ్చిన దగ్గరల్లా they used to collect taxes. So in 3 levels they had got this necessity to find a sea route to India. So biggest question in Europe of that time was to find sea route or trade route for India such that they can bypass this Ottoman Empire and don't pay heavy toll gate taxes. Number one. Second, anyhow, they wanted to crack this mystery. Is this real, or these fellows are making fools of us? Thirdly, if they find some new lands, let us set up colonies there. So these three ideas made them to look for trade routes. And already by this time mariner's compass and all those were developing, and paper was also already developing. So all these inventions and discoveries from China and other parts of the world enabled some discoverers from Europe like Vasco, ఇంకా దానికన్నా ముందు Columbus, to actually start out towards India. But this fellow somehow got sidetracked. He landed in American coast. So what he found there, instead of this brown black fellow Indians, manamanta basic brown black. Acha, you must be again clear, deeper thinking here. Why I am saying brown black? Because where is the coastal area in India? Peninsular India or northern India? Peninsular India. And what color is dominating in peninsular India? Black color, brown color. In northern India people are fair, slightly comparatively. So when they have known from their ancestors, earlier traders, that Indian people are brown and black, so this fellow, when he landed in America, he found people are all Chinese type and red in color. వీళ్ళేంటి రెడ్గా ఉన్నారు, ఇండియన్స్ అంటే బ్రౌన్ బ్లాక్ ఉండాలి కదా. This guy started asking them, and finally he figured out that I've lost the roots. So fine, anyhow, he named those people as Red Indians. So in America in 1498 or 1492, I don't exactly remember, 1492 I think. Yeah, of those times in America Red Indians were living. Red Indians were also called as Native Indians or American Indians. These Red Indians, of course, later some more people started out towards different parts of the world. America was discovered, Australia was discovered, India was discovered, some islands like Andaman Islands were discovered. So new discoveries and inventions were happening in Europe right from 15th century. This is the second part of the story. First part of the story we have talked about ancient Greece and philosophy, science. Second part, Renaissance or Enlightenment era, which kick-started discovery of sea routes to not only India but also many other parts of the world hitherto unknown to Europeans. So Europeans were the pioneers in this regard. Okay, so these fellows, when they came out, initially the bunch of people who started were traders and businessmen. Initially, because they wanted to actually crack this mystery of this spices thing, initially they were like coming with boats and going along with boats, etc., ships rather. Then they, వీళ్ళు వెళ్తుంటే వాళ్ళ వెనకాల some other fellows started. Behind them came voyageurs. You know who is a voyageur? It is called voyage in French. Voyage means a big sea travel, very long sea travel is called voyage. So people already in Europe, people are surrounded by sea. People, enthusiasts, voyagers wanted to travel to distant lands and discover new areas. Sahasikulu, in Telugu if you want to call sahasa, they want to know exactly what is on the end of the world. They wanted to see what is lying behind that, like Prabhas in that movie. Saho kaadu, Prabhas, Bahubali 1, I think. Every time he wanted to jump above that waterfall and see what is behind them. Because every time he's seeing that mask coming, and that mask belongs to a beautiful lady. So he wants to discover that beautiful lady, and behind that what is there? Something like human inquisitiveness, human curiosity. Okay, voyagers and enthusiasts. Enthusiasts wanted to discover, like Herodotus, what is the culture of these people. And following them also came some missionaries of charity. Missionaries initially, charity tarvata vachindi. They have started from Europe. Missionaries pani entandi? Main job to spread the gospel of the Christ, especially Christian missionaries. Only Christianity has got this bunch of people completely dedicated to the service of the Lord, and go around the world to whatever continent the ship takes, and land there and just convert people. That's it. Their main job, their complete goal of life was a missionary zeal. Dani missionary zeal anukuntam. So they start with that enthusiasm called as missionary zeal. Itlantivi meeku Excel lo vaatilo upayogapadathadi. Missionary zeal means a person who starts like with any job with full enthusiasm, and till that job is completed, that fellow is not satisfied. So whenever you use that word, what is it springing from? Mission. Mission completed antam kada mana hero lo sorry. What is that mission? So that mission means starting on a task, on a goal or a target. So what is their goal? To go and spread the gospel. In Christianity, the word and the ideas of the Lord Jesus is called as gospel. So they wanted to spread the word, and in that process convert other non-Christians into Christianity. So they were also following these people in boats and ships. So wherever they traveled, this part 3 of the story. Part 1, part 2, part 3. In this part 3, when these people went there, besides doing their main job, besides doing their, or while they were doing their job, while they were conducting their main tasks, what they have seen, so when they landed in many countries like Australia, can you imagine Australia before the British arrived? What could be it full of? Just like America, when Columbus landed in America, who were there? I told you just now. Red Indians. Now tell me what kind of tagline. I'll write 2 words here, okay? Just tell me which word you will use to. I'm just giving you answer and question. Right? 2 words I'm giving. Which word you give used to describe American Indians? In these 2. ఆలోచించి చెప్పండి. Even if you don't know, try to guess. You may be right, you may be wrong. Uncivilized. Civilized means what? Wearing all dresses and doing like neatly shaving, males aithe, and acha sannahana, and keeping good health, maintaining, traveling in some good vehicles. That is called civilization. Able to write, read. These are the qualities of civilization. Yesterday I spoke about phonetic alphabet. History began, right? And history, civilization were happening same time. at the same time. So when history was beginning, civilization was also starting. So people in Europe in 15th century already got civilized, most of them. But when at the same time, when they have landed in America, Australia, Asia, and many islands in near Australia, what kind of people they found? Uncivilized people. I gave you the clue already. So uncivilized is the opposite of civilized. Civilized people, I told, neatly shaven males, or beard unna neat ga maintain cheyatam, bathing more or less daily or weekly 2-3 times. And what about the opposite fellows? The people never baths, or they whatever, whenever they found it is fine. In fact, wearing clothes from top to bottom. And many males were stark naked, males especially, even females for that matter, half naked. And their color of the skin, their language, their behavior, their entire culture was completely opposite to theirs. These people, when they landed for the first time in these islands and new territories, these travelers, businessmen, traders, etc., went for a culture shock. Culture shock happened when these Europeans first time encountered అంటే ఇక్కడ మీటింగ్ అనమాట. ఎదురెదురుగా వస్తే యాక్చువల్ ఎన్కౌంటర్ అంటే ఆమ్నే సామ్నే, ఎదురెదురుగా వస్తే దాన్ని ఎన్కౌంటర్ అంటాం. ఎన్కౌంటర్ అంటే ఇది కాదు, ఓకే. అండ్ యూరోపియన్స్ ఫస్ట్ టైం ఎన్కౌంటర్డ్ non-Europeans in which continents? I told you, అమెరికా, ఇప్పుడు కాదు అమెరికా, అప్పుడు అమెరికా, అమెరికాస్, ఆస్ట్రేలియా, ఆఫ్రికా and Asia, and some islands. America, Australia, Asia, and Africa. So when these non-Europeans were seen for the first time, they went for a culture shock. There was a very good book, one anthropologist called John Beatty. He has written a book titled Other Cultures. Earlier, if you remember, I was talking about Aristotle. Aristotle said, who is an anthropologist? A man or a gossip who talks about himself. Correct? A man who gossips about himself. So, himself means ourselves. The main job of anthropology is, first initially, it should be talking about ourselves. In this process, while we are talking about ourselves means, only we constitute ourselves, we, our family, our society, or other societies also, just like Herodotus done, and these voyagers and all have done. I'm asking you a question. Is it only ourselves or others also? Because they are also human beings. Yes, others also. That means others or other cultures. So both these questions has been raised in Europe. Ourselves, it was raised in Europe. Initially, it has got kick-started in Greece. So this entire question became a question between European and non-European. Ourselves. So initially, this anthropology was born in this question. Anthropology was born as a question asking, who are we and who are the others? In this, again, anthropology was born in this contact, rather first contact. What is the first contact? First నా డిస్కషన్లో ఇన్వాల్వ్ అవ్వండి, తర్వాత రాసుకోండి, మీది ఎక్కడ పోదు. ఓకే, ఇన్ మై క్లాస్ ప్లీజ్ డోంట్ టేక్ మీ రాంగ్, ఎందుకంటే ఈ నాలెడ్జ్ కంప్లీట్లీ డిఫరెంట్ ఇక్కడ. యూ మైట్ బి కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది బెస్ట్ స్కూల్స్, కాలేజెస్, పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్స్, పిహెచ్డీస్ కూడా ఉండొచ్చు మీలో. బట్ when it comes to this subject and my orientation, it is completely different. So don't feel sorry for that, because the idea is developing now. You can capture this later, aram se. So just now I mentioned about first contact. What is that first contact? Between whom? Between Europeans and non-Europeans. Wonderful. Europeans and non-Europeans, because the very questions have started in Europe. And this idea took the shape of anthropology, because anthropology means study of man, study of ourselves, study of others. And all are being done. When these Europeans, first time they landed in these exotic lands in Asia, in islands, and Australia, they got crazy. How can these people live like this and stark naked? We can't even think without going with a coat outside. Shirt kaadu, Europe lo shirt kuda kaadu, coat toti bayitiki veltaru. Especially males, when they go out, they wear hat, coat and boots. All the three are compulsory most of the times. Hat, coat and boot, nothing is there. No hat, no cat, no coat, no boots. And these people don't even have a loin clothes. Males are stark naked, and on the one hand this fellow has a spear, and they have got some ikkada matku alankaran undi, here they got all these feathers, etc. And at the most some women wore some clothing like that. First of all, they got this idea, this doubt, are these people humans in the first place? Because their facial features, especially in Australia and Oceania, in Africa, they look like Negro features. No, Negroes are closer to, మనలో మనం మాట్లాడుకోం, నాట్ టు డెనిగ్రేట్ దెమ్. డెనిగ్రేట్లోనే నిగ్రో ఉంది. Negro people look like apes or humans. They look more of apes and monkeys, because their face is like this. And they thought, are these another animal people or what? They are looking like humans, they might not be humans. Have you seen this movie Apocalypto? Anyone here? Apocalypto. ఖతర్నాక్ మూవీ చూడండి, ఎనీ టైం గుర్తొచ్చినప్పుడు. అపోకాలిప్టో బై మెల్ జిప్సన్. మెల్ జిప్సన్ వాజ్ అ బిగ్ హాలీవుడ్ స్టార్. ఈజ్ ఇంకా బతుకున్నాడు అనుకుంటున్నా, వాజ్ అనకూడదు. ఈజ్ అ బిగ్ హాలీవుడ్ స్టార్. Lot of good movies he has made. He has also directed one movie called Apocalypto. In the final climax scene, this fellow's one hero is actually about to be killed by a king's people. Hero means that tribal man. And everybody is ready to shoot him down, and everybody stops like this, and they are seeing that side. And that side, the white people, the Europeans are coming towards the, akkada entante samudram untadi, ikkada konda. From the mountain they are seeing the Britishers are coming. They are all wearing these and all white cloths, cap, proper navy kind of attire. So they were all stuck like this. So that is the first contact of the Europeans with the non-Europeans. Then when these people also accompanied them, travelers, voyagers, missionaries, enthusiasts, they started collecting the information from these people or about these people. What is the initial stage of anthropology? When these travelers, voyagers, missionaries, businessmen collected information about the people, how they look. First of all, whenever you go to a new place, will you take some photographs, videographs? ఈ రోజుల్లో అంతే వీడియో అవన్నీ పక్కన పెట్టి దాన్ని ఏమంటాం vlogs, blogs, పతా nahi kya kya. So that vlog of those days were diaries. They used to maintain some diaries, some rough notes they used to write. Some fellows even used to draw the diagrams and sketches, how these people look very crazy. They were having feathers here, all the very typical dress. Males, females have skirts. Even generally in Europe, females only wear skirts, but here males are also wearing skirts. So all this they painted and they portrayed, and it all has gone into Europe. All this knowledge was getting collected. Okay, so it became a bundle of ideas. By the time 17th, 18th, 19th centuries came, for 400-500 years, a lot of knowledge got accumulated about these hitherto unknown people in different parts of the world, continents like Africa, Australia, America. Then fine, acha, now if I am an ordinary person, I go to a new other place, I just click for some photographs and just collect them and put there. But an author or as a philosopher will collect all of them and he starts writing a book on it. So all this knowledge was actually called as secondary source of information. This secondary source of information was converted into books. And who wrote these books? Authors and thinkers. Who collected them first? All these 5 categories of people: travel, voyagers, enthusiasts, businessmen, missionaries. The knowledge came from these people in the form of secondary sources, given to this, collected by these thinkers and converted into books. This is one idea. కొంచెం ఓపిక పట్టండి. I can see some kind of slight shake in the understanding. I can see very clearly, but you just need to hang on. I told you, hang on, and you will be rewarded very soon. It happens with every student. Even when I was reading also, nothing was understandable. Everything was Arabic, Spanish, Greek to me. Absolutely unfathomable. Patience, pace. So this is another stage in the development of thought. Secondary sources. People were collecting. So when some scholars were collecting information, they came to know that, acha, there is a clear, unique lifestyle of these people in various continents. What is this lifestyle like? Who are these people like? Bizarre, వాళ్ళకి ఏం పేర్లు పెట్టారు చూడండి. Bizarre, exotic. Bizarre అంటే సంథింగ్ బేజార్ వర్డ్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. Bizarre means I don't understand, some strange thing. Strange people. Exotic. Exotic means completely foreign. Strange people. And to understand them, to study and discuss about them, to discuss about them, so these scholars have set up ethnological societies in Europe. Ethnological or folk societies. is initially in Europe, like in major cities like London, Berlin, Paris, and later in New York and others. So whenever these scholars used to meet, they used to talk about these bizarre, exotic, strange cultures. Bizarre enduku? Strange. Why exotic, bizarre? Because they are not like us. They are completely different like from us. In language, dress, culture, food, festival, everything, religion, whatever you mention, they are completely different. So naturally, we'll get interest in that. When some people are strange, like completely strange, we want to write about them more, discuss about them more. Anthropology was born in this. Ethnological societies or folk societies in Europe, in all the major cities ante saripotundi. So step by step, how right from ancient Greece times, Renaissance, Enlightenment period, discovery of sea routes, traders, businessmen, voyagers, missionaries going there, finding the exotic people and writing, discussing and writing about them. This is how anthropology began as a subject. Okay, copied? I think you need an early break today. కొంచెం ఉంటుంది ఈరోజు, అంటే మొహాలు కూడా ఒక్కసారి ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది ఏంటంటే కొన్నిసార్లు ఎట్లుంటా ఐల్ షేర్ యూ సమ్ విత్ యూ సమ్ ఐడియాస్. సమ్టైమ్స్ యూ డోంట్ నో వై ఎ మూవీ బికమ్స్ అ హిట్. ఐల్ జస్ట్ టెల్ యూ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. అదే డైరెక్టర్ తీసిన మూవీ, సారీ రాదర్ 2 different మూవీస్. రీసెంట్లీ దెర్ వాజ్ అ మూవీ రిలీజ్, సంక్రాంతికి వస్తున్నాం. In theaters it is still running, but when I saw that in the house, అప్పుడేమో సినిమాల్లో చూసినప్పుడు ప్రేక్షకులు ఏమన్నారు, ఆహా ఏం చెప్పాడు, ఏం తీశాడు మూవీ. వెన్ ఐ సా దట్, ఏం తీశాడు, సేమ్ మూవీ, different context, look different. The sometimes same class with a full crowd, same class with less crowd is different. I'm telling you the same thing. So don't go into that thing. Actually, for us the matter is more important. Okay? Acha. Or ek bar, I'll just give you this idea. So these ethnological societies were regularly exchanging information, ideas, the secondary sources of information, their photographs, and they used to talk regularly and develop isms. This is the way people were living, and they started collecting the body of ideas, and then came the idea of anthropological theories. I'll take you to the theories names now. So these are those theories which I was talking about. Yesterday also we have noted them, right? Classical evolutionism, historical particularism, diffusionism, though they have not cut it down, I have actually separated. Diffusionism slightly separated. Functionalism, structural functionalism, structuralism, culture and personality school, neo-evolutionism, cultural materialism, symbolic and interpretive theories, cognitive theories, and postmodernism. Yesterday I did not give the thinkers names, just I mentioned some Tyler, Morgan, etc. But here all the scholars names are there. So I'll just give you, I think we need a break here. After coming from break we'll continue this discussion. Just take a break and come fast. I won't take a bigger session today. We'll limit about 20-30 minutes earlier only. Okay. So in anthropological theories that you can see on the screen, there are a dozen theories which start from classical evolutionism. So we will try to know not in detail all the ones. Today I'll just, as I told you, follow this curtain raiser thing. So this is a curtain raiser of curtain raiser. Classical evolutionism is a 19th century theory. Basically, it's 19th century theory, which has been talking about. అచ్చా నాదొక అప్రోచ్ ఉంది, మీరు బహుశా నెట్లో కొట్టినా మీ ప్రీవియస్ స్టూడెంట్స్ అడిగినా దే విల్ సే వన్ థింగ్. ఐఎమ్ నోన్ ఫర్ అన్ అప్రోచ్ కాల్డ్ keyword approach. I have developed this approach and it is working wonders for us, not only for me but also students. What is a keyword approach? Before, as I was discussing 2-3 days back also, we know that we think that we know the word. Usually we take it for granted. I know antam ippudu meaning cheppante so wait, you can't actually describe it easily. The same thing we will apply here. Even the word looks known to us, but we will question it. Classical. Usually the word classical is used against something called as modern. Like you have in music, classical music, classical Hindustani, Carnatic. అచ్చా రేపు పొద్దున ప్రిలిమ్స్లో క్వశ్చన్ రావచ్చు, కర్ణాటిక్ అనగానే వర్డ్ వచ్చింది. కర్ణాటక మ్యూజిక్ గురించి చెప్పండి, మీకు ఏం తెలుసు? కర్ణాటిక్ మీనింగ్ ఏంటి? విల్ బి రియల్లీ గాన్ ఫర్ ఎ షాక్ వెన్ ఐ గివ్ యూ దిస్ ఆన్సర్. తొందర చెప్పండి, కర్ణాటక మ్యూజిక్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఇవన్నీ ప్రిలిమ్స్ వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉందా లేదా? ఉందా లేదా? ఆర్ట్ అండ్ కల్చర్ బతాओ. We all know there is a Carnatic music. Carnatic, even in my childhood I used to think it is from Karnataka. Most of the singers are from Tamil Nadu, and most of the writers of these songs are from Telugu, like Tyagaya. These are all Telugu people. So they might mingle all these and frame a question. But what is Karnataka? Is it from Karnataka? I used to think no. Karnataka, Karna, ear, Vinasampuga, some music which is beautiful and very melodious for the ears is Carnatic. This is the beauty of the word. If you don't know, capture it and write. ఎందుకన్నా ఫ్లో వచ్చినప్పుడు చెప్పేస్తాం, మళ్ళీ నాకు గుర్తురాదు. So whether you call Carnatic or Hindustani, just like the way you called it classical music, opposed to modern Western music, same way the earliest thinking in any discipline is called classical. Classical thinkers, they say, versus modern thinkers. Classical versus modern. Classical versus modern. So classical means the earliest 19th century scholars who spoke about. Now you tell me, what is the main theme of their discussion? From the title itself we can tell. Evolutionism, evolutiona. Kadu. These thinkers were talking about evolution, and entire body of knowledge become ism. I told you what is ism. By the way, since I have taken the word, I'll come to this later. Ism means what? Ism means it has got several connotations. Ism stands for idea or principle. రాసుకోండి ఫటాఫట్. ప్రిన్సిపల్, ఫిలాసఫీ or doctrine, rarely concepts or theory. చూడండి ఎన్ని వర్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి చూడండి. For some, whenever you are using the term or a root word, they are all called as root words or terms. Ism, it means theory or a philosophy or a doctrine or a principle or anything, like all mentioned there. Concept also rarely. So now apply this here. If we cut this word into two, evolutionism, an ism which is talking about evolution. Anta ఓపిక్గా మనం టైం స్పెండ్ చేయాలి ఇక్కడ. I can't just rush evolutionism అంటే that will not give happiness to me. Maybe it is okay for you. You don't even know. If I don't cover, no, you just say, it's okay. It is also class అనుకుంటారు. The philosophy about evolution is evolutionism. What is that philosophy? That, acha. Yesterday I was talking about the basic, when I was talking about this part 3, I said, what you call, the main theme of all these cultures, all these theories and em cheppanu, main theme, culture. In fact, there are 2 more themes. 3 themes are covered by these theories. These theories are actually talking about 3 themes, 3 ideas. They talk about, what are the 3 themes? Society, culture, then social cultural institutions. Please write along with me. When I am not giving an explanation, you just shoot like very fast. When I'm slowing down and explaining, you stop writing. Automatically మీరు adjust చేసుకోవాలి మీ writing style. What are the 3 themes on which these theories are given? Society, culture, social cultural institutions. And I am again telling you, if I am not told earlier, in this class you have to become LKG students. Em feel avaddu. Endukante anything you are learning for the first time, like even the great Socrates became an LKG student. Before he was, just half an hour before he was dying, he learnt a new skill. And he asked the jailer, can you give me permission? All his students were actually weeping. Sir, ayo inani champestunaru. Any chance? Ante no. In half an hour this fellow will die. But this man was like looking outside of the window like crazy. ఈయనకి ఏం మతి పోయిందా, ఏం సార్ ఎట్లా ఉంటారు, just go and talk to that jailer. I need to speak to that person who is making some ఏదో చెక్కుతున్నాడు, some idol or something, some carpentry work. I need to go and sit with that fellow. అంటే సరేలే, ఈయన ఫస్ట్ నుంచి అంతే కదా, తేడా క్యాండిడేట్ అనుకున్నాడు. సో దెన్ హీ హెస్ గాన్ అండ్ sat with that fellow and learned that skill and made a small piece and gave it to his students. And in next half an hour he was dead. What is the meaning of this? What is the essence, message out of his life? That we learn till we die. So whatever knowledge we have got all these days, whether you come from Harvard or IIT, IIM, whatever knowledge we have got, it's no knowledge is complete. Again, the next moment you have to become LKG students. So here also, don't take me wrong if I am taking that liberty with you and speaking like this. Because I also become an LKG student the moment I step out of this class. 3 themes are covered by these theories. What are these 3 themes? Society, culture and social culture institutions. Sir, yesterday you have spoken only about culture. No. Ee roju rendu etla vachinayi. Another theme which has added now today, society. Sir, where was society yesterday? Has it taken some weekly off? It has come on Sunday. And what was the statement I gave you about the relationship between society and culture? Both are like 2 sides of the same reality, 2 sides of the same coin, or like 2 eyes of a reality of a man, of a person. So no society, no culture, no society. So when you mix them both, what is the third one? Social cultural institutions. I also gave you examples of social cultural institutions in earlier discussion. Who will give me the answer? Marriage, family, economic organization, political organization, religion. These 5. And there are also other things like marriage, folklore, drama, philosophy. All these also come. But basically 5 themes. 5 themes are your marriage, family, economic organization, political organization, and religion. These are the 5 socio-cultural or social cultural institutions which are also studied by these scholars. Not just only the classical evolutionists, but more or less everyone. Just copy this, I'll reframe this. Again, I'll repeat this sentence. What are the 5? Malli marchipotaru reppoduna adute. Social culture institutions ante sir, wait. You might give only 1 or 2. So we have to be like giving all the 5. Marriage, family, economic organization, political organization, and religion. Initially, these are enough for us as to be recognized as a social cultural institutions. What is the meaning here of institutions? Again, we will start questioning. I was referring to an example. One example I was talking about. Do dogs marry? Animals marry? Then why humans marry? What is the difference? They have also society. We also have society. We have got social cultural institutions. We have made marriage into an institution. Institution means repeatedly when you are doing and taking it very deep, without which you can't live or survive, or without which you can't be identified. It is called as institution. Now let us apply the word family and understand. Can we live without our family? Straight answer. Absolutely no. Even if you ask a Western fellow, initially he says, yes, I can, we are living already. But who commit more suicides and suddenly he takes a pistol out and వాడిని ఫేస్ నచ్చలేదు, నువ్వు నవ్వలేదు, నిన్న కాల్చి పడేస్తాడు. Joke ga nizama. Yesterday if you did not talk to him properly, he'll go to home, he'll bring the gun out and he'll shoot you. Are you reading the papers? Following the news in all these United States? Children, because of over homework, they'll shoot the teacher. Luckily, we are born in India. No guns are available in this country. So, because of the very weak family institutions in their country, United States, though it's number 1 in economics, it is very poor in society. So that's the reason we study these social culture institutions. And the beginning has happened in 19th century. So, now what is the exact thing these people have done? Mari, you can also raise another question. Sir, then why there are so many isms? Why there are so many isms? Only one ism can do, no? Someone is saying classical evolutionism, someone is talking about historical particularism, diffusionism, then what you call neo-evolutionism, cultural personality school. Innenduku అంటే మీ ఇంట్లో ఒకటే కర్రీ వండుతారా, లేకపోతే హోటల్కి పోతే ఒకటే కర్రీ ఇస్తాడు వాడు. He'll give 4 5. We may eat 1 or 2, we may leave, we may eat all. So there is a saying in Telugu, if you permit me, I'll give you that. Purreko buddhi, jivvako ruchi anta. So everybody has got its own, his or her own taste. And everybody has his or her own viewpoints on things. The things I see, the way I see things, you may not see. You may not see. You may not see. Everybody has got a different perspective on some vital issues. So on these basic things called society, culture and social cultural institutions, also these thinkers had got various viewpoints. So different names have come. Okay. So all these have become different isms. Isms means, tell me what are isms? Philosophies, principles, or themes, or ideas, or concepts, or doctrines. Any one is okay. You don't write or on in the exam. Any one is enough. Now, I'll tell you some beautiful insights on each and everything. Classical evolutionism said, culture, ఫస్ట్ వినండి, తర్వాత రాసుకోండి. ఒకవేళ నేను మధ్యలో మాట్లాడితే ఇట్లా చేయెత్తినా నేనేం ఫీల్ కాను. సార్ నేను సీరియస్గా రాసుకుంటున్నాను, మీరు కాసేపు ఆగండి అన్న, నేను అస్సలు ఏం ఫీల్ కాను. చెప్తున్నా ముందే, ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ అనదర్ డిస్క్లైమర్. నాకు ఒక అలవాటు ఉంది, నేను పొరపాటున ఒక్కోసారి వైల్ యూఆర్ రైటింగ్ ఐ మే జస్ట్ గో ఆన్, బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఫీల్ డిస్టర్బ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ ద లిబర్టీ to stop me. And I have got another quality. I speak to people as if I know them from the beginning. అందుకే మీరు చూడండి నా ఓరియంటేషన్ వేరే ఉంటుంది. ఐ డోంట్ లైక్ build a wall around me and speak so reservedly. I interact with people as if I know you already. Right from day one. ఫస్ట్ టైం మీరు మాట్లాడితే నెక్స్ట్ 5 నిమిషాల్లో మామూలుగా మాట్లాడేస్తాం, మీరు ఎవరు నాకు కూడా తెలియదు, బట్ స్టిల్ ఐ ఫీల్ లైక్ యూ ఆల్రెడీ నో మీ. మేబీ యూ హ్యావ్ అబ్జర్వ్డ్ దట్ trait in me. So don't take this into consideration. B, sir, so పొరపాటున మీరు ప్లీజ్ గివ్ మీ సమ్ టైమ్ ఐ విల్ కంప్లీట్ అన్న హ్యాపీ. సార్ ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేస్తారా, క్యాన్ యూ గివ్ మీ డిక్టేషన్, డబుల్ హ్యాపీ, బికాస్ ఐ మే నాట్ రిపీట్ అగైన్ సేమ్ వే బట్ ఐ విల్ గివ్ ఎ గుడ్ సెంటెన్స్ అగైన్. సో హియర్ as when it comes to classical evolutionism, it said culture evolves in a unilinear first of all basically it said culture evolves ante emandi culture evolves in a unilinear manner or fashion. Culture evolves. Historical particular is said particular cultures have to be studied. రాసుకుంటే వెళ్ళిపోండి ఇప్పుడు. హ్యావ్ టు ఇక్కడ స్టార్ట్ చేయండి, యూ కెన్ కమ్ హియర్ లేటర్. హ్యావ్ టు బీ స్టడీడ్ or to be studied with their history. Main themes I am writing. Culture evolves in a unilinear fashion is a main theme of classical evolutionism. Particular cultures to be studied with their history is the theme of historical particularism. Complete them. And you need not try to understand anything. ఇప్పుడు అర్థం కాకపోయినా ఏం పర్లేదు, you don't try also to understand. If you are understanding, wonderful, but don't artificially try to come to grip with it because you will be really suffering. I can read it for you again. If you are finding spellings difficult, particular cultures to be studied with their history, and with the help of their history, is a second idea. What is that idea? It is a main principle in historical particularism. I'll do one thing. I'll take a fresh page and write afresh. So that will be a good way to do it. Okay, I'll write again if you don't mind. Thinkers, anyhow, I'll be taking up these ideas later also. These people. What classical evolutionism is saying, even in the middle, in the meanwhile, if you get a doubt, if you have no problem in raising your hand and asking, I welcome, no problem whatsoever. In the break, you want to ask, wonderful. After the class, the more you approach me, the faster you will become satisfied, happy with the subject. ఆ డౌట్ పట్టుకొని చూద్దాంలే ఇంకొంచెం ఇంకా చదివినాక ఐల్ రీడ్ మోర్ దెన్ ఐల్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దెన్ ఐల్ అప్రోచ్ విత్ అ బండిల్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ టు సార్ అంటే అది వర్కౌట్ కాకపోవచ్చు. ఎవ్రీ డే స్మాలెస్ట్ డౌట్ ఆల్సో ప్లీజ్ ఆస్క్ మీ. Culture evolves Now just repeat with me. Culture evolves in a unilinear fashion or manner. That means I'll talk about that later. It means it evolves in one line. Second, historical particularism. Particular cultures to be studied with their history or histories. Diffusionism, most simplest one here. Diffusionism says culture, can anybody try? Ante. Culture diffuses. What classical evolution is said? Culture evolves. These people say culture diffuses. Evolves means కొంచెం టైం స్పెండ్ చేద్దాం ఇక్కడ. Once you, if you want to complete that and come. Don't worry. Complete the sentence there. Write it down. Shall we go ahead, discuss? What do you mean by evolve? Huh? నాకు కామన్ మ్యాన్ అని అంగుటా చాప్, నాకేం తెలియదు, మీరు ఒక మామూలు వర్డ్ చెప్పండి నాకు ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, దెన్ యూ విల్ కమ్ టు ద కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్. ఎవరో ఏదో అన్నారు, గట్టిగా చెప్పండి. ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ, దట్ ఈస్ ద కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్. చేంజ్, it may be less or more, we are not like really bothered whether it is changing or not, because one anonymous person, scholar, might have said long back, what is the only permanent thing in the world? Only permanent, do you have anything permanent in this world? Change is the only permanent thing in the world. So culture also changes. For classical evolutionists, culture evolves. For diffusionists, culture diffuses. What do you mean by diffusion? Now you go back to your chemistry class, 8th, 9th, whatever, you have read about diffusion. What diffuse in your chemistry? మీకు 3 రకాలైన matter is in 3 forms అని చదువుకున్నారు. ఆల్రెడీ అన్ని ఆన్సర్ నేనే ఇస్తున్నా. Matter is in 3 forms: solid, liquid, gas. Which diffuses? Gases. That means they go from place to place easily, faster. Culture also goes from a place of origin to a different place. It's simply speaking, it spreads. Of course, స్కూల్ అనగానే మనకు వేరే గ్యాస్ గుర్తొస్తుంది క్లాస్లో పొద్దునే. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద స్కూల్స్, the kids know what kind of gas diffuses faster in the class. So instead of the chemistry lab, they experience lot of gas diffusion in their own class. Correct, na? Many of us remember. Luckily, at this stage, we are not, and for God's, with God's blessings, in all these years, I'm not feeling that diffusion. So great. We'll, next thing is what? Okay, nimisham. Historical particularism, functionalism. Huh? ఒకసారి చూడండి, ఒకసారి సిలబస్ ఒకసారి వెనక్కి వెళ్దామా? అంతే కదా? ఏం లేదు, పర్లేదు. ఒకసారి క్లారిటీ కోసం మనం వెనక్కి వెళ్ళచ్చు, ఏం పర్లేదు. ఫస్ట్ ఫంక్షనలిజం వస్తుంది, తర్వాత స్ట్రక్చరల్ ఫంక్షనలిజం. यार functionalism believes that culture functions. See, ikkada culture, every time we are talking about culture, perhaps మీరు ఇందాక ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అడగాలి మీరు. ఫండమెంటలీ యూ షుడ్ యాక్చువల్లీ రేజ్ ఎ క్వశ్చన్. సార్ అర్లియర్ వీ వర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ 3 థీమ్స్, నో యూ ఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఓన్లీ 1 థీమ్ హియర్. అట్లా అడిగితేనే నేను ఇంటికి ప్రశాంతంగా వెళ్ళగలుగుతా. మీరు అడగలేదనుకో, ఎవరు నన్ను వచ్చి అడగలేదని డౌట్గా ఫీల్ అయితే ఇంటికి వెళ్తా. జోక్ కాదు, డ్రామా కాదు. యూ షుడ్ ఆస్క్ దట్. ఎర్లియర్ యూ స్పోక్ అబౌట్ 3 థీమ్స్, నో? సొసైటీ, కల్చర్, సోషల్ కల్చర్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. మరి ఇక్కడ ఒకటే రాస్తున్నారు ఏంటి సార్, మీరు అన్యాయం కదా, మిగిలిన 2 ఫీల్ అవ్వవా? సొసైటీస్ అవుతాయి కదా. మరి వై వీఆర్ నాట్ రైటింగ్? బికాస్ anthropologists thought, acha, every time there's, because sociology and anthropology are twin sisters, let one sister enjoy society. One sister is talking about society, let her enjoy. We will talk about culture. So roughly anthropologists and sociologists have got, లేదా ఆస్తి పంపకాలు చేసుకున్నట్టు ఇద్దరు అన్నదమ్ములు or 2 sisters nowadays, they have divided roughly they have hijacked rather society and culture separately. Society has been hijacked by sociologists, culture has been hijacked by anthropologists. నేను డ్రామా చేయట్లేదు, it is not exaggeration. Though both of them speak again, about others as well, but coming to the culture again specifically, sociologists, those they speak about society and social culture institutions, but very less about culture. They వాళ్ళ బుక్స్లో కల్చర్ కనపడకపోయినా ఆశ్చర్యపోకర్లేదు. They will they don't almost like never talk about culture. But anthropologists, day in and day out, they wake up, they go to sleep, they'll be chanting the mantra of culture. So that is the reason what we are writing here. Culture evolves, culture diffuses, culture functions. అది ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైందా? క్లారిటీ. బట్ వెన్ వి గో టు ద యాక్చువల్ థియరీస్, అగైన్ దీస్ 3 fellows will reappear. When I start with classical evolutionism, again I will bring society, culture, social culture institutions. Are you clear on this? Great. So next, structural functionalism. Structural functionalism says structure functions. What is that structure? I will not reveal right now. When we go to the theory, అంటే ఒక చిన్న సస్పెన్స్ లాగా ఉండాలి, అది మిస్టరీ లాగా. Then we'll talk about that later. Then structuralism. Structuralism says there is a universal mental superstructure is responsible for culture. Even if you miss the word universal, no problem. Mental superstructure which is responsible for culture. Today only this much. Next day when we start the actual classes, we'll start with classical evolutionism. The day is not yet decided, mostly in about 3-4 days or next week. Completely ఒక వీక్ తర్వాతనే, ఒకవేళ అవుతే హోలీ రోజు లేదా హోలీ తర్వాత or on next Monday. I have not yet fixed it. On Holi, I think we don't have any holiday, I guess. Holy day mein holiday leda meeku? Leda? శివరాత్రికి ఇయర్ ఎందుకు? ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? ఇక్కడ ఉపవాసం ఉన్నా ఇక్కడ కూర్చోవచ్చు, జాగారం చేసినా మధ్యాహ్నం క్లాస్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు సరిపోతుంది కదా. ఫర్ ఎ సివిల్ సర్వెంట్ ఈజ్ దర్ ఎనీ హాలిడే? సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఆల్రెడీ స్టెప్ ఇన్ టు ద షూస్ ఆఫ్ ద సివిల్ సర్వెంట్. అప్పుడెప్పుడో లబాస్నాకి వెళ్ళినాక అవర్ మీరు ఆఫీసర్లు. Even before, in this class itself, you start entering into the framework of a civil servant. Okay, wonderful. Next, what is the next theory? After structuralism, neo-evolutionism, చూడండి. Neo-evolutionism. Culture and personality. కొంచెం అటు ఇటు. Culture and personality school. అదే అంటున్నా నేను, నా మైండ్లో ఎక్కడ మిస్ అయింది ఆర్డర్ అని చూసుకుంటున్నా. Whatever it is, fine. We need not go in that order, but we need to develop some basic idea at the moment. Neo-evolutionism says, acha ikkada chudandi, earlier we had one evolutionism. What is that? Classical evolutionism. Classical evolutionism akkada indaka emankunnam, which is traditional versus modern. Then what is the name, other name for modern? Neo. Neo means new. Earlier, the 19th century evolutionism was called as classical evolutionism. 20th century evolutionism is called as neo-evolutionism. So what they said, sir, all my classical thinkers, thank you, salute, good morning, good evening, we agree with you. Culture evolves, we are also agreeing. కొన్నిసార్లు ఈ లెవెల్ కూడా వస్తుంది మన డిస్కషన్. ఒకటి ఏంటంటే, అట్ ద మూమెంట్ మై క్లాసెస్ లుక్ లైక్ ఓవర్ అ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ లుక్స్ లైక్ అర్ ఆర్కెస్ట్రా. ఏదంటారు, హిందుస్థానీ, కర్ణాటక అన్నాం కదా. ఆల్ ద క్లాసికల్ మ్యూజిక్ స్టార్ట్స్ వెరీ స్లోలీ. ఆ నాదము, తాళం అన్నీ కుదిరేదాకా వాళ్ళు ఒకే రాగంని 7-10 టైమ్స్ చేస్తారు. నెమ్మదిగా తాళం యాడ్ చేస్తాడు, నాదం యాడ్ చేస్తాడు, స్వరం అన్నీ లైన్లోకి వస్తాయి. తర్వాత పీక్లోకి తీసుకెళ్తారు, ఇక ఊగుతారు అనమాట. నిజంగా క్లాసికల్ ఎవల్యూషన్ మీరు చూడండి, క్లాసికల్ మ్యూజిక్ you will be like completely going crazy in that. Then slowly they will bring it down and close. My classes will be like that. Initially you are in this phase, so don't expect any fireworks now. కొంచెం ఓపిక పట్టండి, విల్ టేక్ యూ టు ద పీక్. కల్చర్ ఎవాల్వ్స్, బట్ ఇందాకేమన్నాడు, ఇన్ ఎ యూనిలీనియర్ ఫ్యాషన్. బట్ దే సే నాట్ ఇన్ ఎ యూనిలీనియర్ ఫ్యాషన్ ఆర్ మేనర్, ఆర్ డస్ నాట్ ఎవాల్వ్ రాయండి పర్లేదు. బట్ అంటే పెట్టుకుందాం. బట్ నాట్ ఇన్ ఎ యూనిలీనియర్ ఫ్యాషన్. Now, culture and personality school. It says culture and personality are interlinked. That means culture is dependent on personality, personality is dependent on culture. This is culture and personality school. Next school is your cultural materialism. మీకు ఎప్పుడైనా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, బిఫోర్ యూ యాక్చువల్లీ టేక్ ఎ ప్లంజ్ ఇన్ టు ద యాక్చువల్ థియరీస్, this basic first start question, before the start of the class I will be asking this, what did I write on the board, you please. Ante first basic nenu anna chudandi, first any theory begins with a small sentence. That small sentences are these. You have to start from that small sentence, then we will add more content and examples. Cultural materialism. Material culture to be studied. First, material cultures to be studied first. Symbolic and interpretive theories. Symbolic and interpretive theories believe cultures have symbols which need to be and they need to be, and there are two parts in this. Cultures have symbols and they need to be interpreted correctly or properly. Sorry, ఇది ఉప్పేనా నేను? Anji, hello, bhai. Next is your cognitive theories. Human cognition or thought process is behind culture. Is behind culture ante meaning enti? For any culture, if you want to understand a culture, you need to understand the thought process of that people. Finally, we have postmodernism. వీళ్ళు ఏం అనలేదు, పెద్ద థియరీస్ ఏం చెప్పలేదు, కానీ వాట్ దే సెడ్ ఇస్ anthropology should be freed from science. In fact, they said anthropology is not a science at all. So these are the 12 theories which have the starting, bottom line or basic sentence, whatever you call. And I am telling you and requesting you very, very seriously, universally it has been proved beyond doubt that the first people, first benchers, మన కింద కూడా మూవీ థియేటర్స్ కూడా ఫస్ట్ లైన్ ఎంజాయ్ చేసినట్టుగా బ్యాక్ వాళ్ళు ఎంజాయ్ చేయరు. కాబట్టి కాలేజ్లో మనం కనుక బ్యాక్ బెంచర్స్ అయింటే దాన్ని అక్కడే పెట్టేసేయండి, కాలేజ్లో పెట్టేసి ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేయాలి, యూ క్యాటపల్ టువర్డ్స్ ద ఫ్రంట్. ఇక్కడ వచ్చిన మజా అక్కడ రాదు. నేనే ఎన్నోసార్లు చెక్ చేసుకున్నాను. I used to go and take so many trainings after my entire thing. Till recently also, whenever I go to some training session, when I sit there and sit here, I see a lot of difference. మీరే కావాలంటే ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేసి చూసుకోండి. నెక్స్ట్ టైం డోంట్ గివ్ ఎ ఛాన్స్ దట్ someone else will come and sit here. The front seats are always there for you guys. These are the spots for leadership roles as well. అట్లా అని చెప్పి నేను ఇదేదో ఎక్కువ తక్కువ కాదు ఇక్కడ. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ట్రైంగ్ టు డెనిగ్రేట్ సమ్వన్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ దిస్ వైట్ అండ్ బ్లాక్ డిస్కషన్. No, it is proved by psychology and management also. So wherever you get a chance, try to propel yourself forward. Yeah, and so these are the broad themes or broad lines of discussion, basic sentences with which these theories have been put forward. And in the next session, as I told you, I'll be taking up all these ideas in a detailed manner, laying the strong foundations of the discipline of anthropology. And the subject optional, whatever you call, here my training will be for not for your exam. First exam gurinchi man maatladanu, because exam is a part of your life. So I see the broad picture. Broad picture is your life. So first we have to study a subject for you, yourself, for the life. Then automatically exam is easily fit in that. Then we'll be definitely seeing so many previous year questions. I'll be just like I've discussed yesterday, live-in relationship. So many questions will be coming up. So in that year it was asked like, it can be asked like this. That's it, very simple stuff. So when you know the story, concept and depth of the subject, questions are like always secondary. Examination orientation automatically happens in our class. Okay, further if I have any queries you can raise now. I am open for queries. You can also approach me when I am sitting there. Thank you. Dismissed.